sleep visualization, peaceful ridge overlooking a valley. Welcome to Relaxation Audio with Candy. In this episode, imagine walking along a peaceful ridge overlooking a valley and then sitting on the porch at a cozy house as the sun sets. Imagine being in nature and drifting off to sleep as you overlook a wide valley surrounded by mountains. Visit relaxation-audio.com for more peaceful relaxation scripts for sleep, stress relief, and health. Get ready to relax. Make yourself comfortable and breathe slowly as you let your muscles start to relax. Release any tension your muscles may be holding on to, letting your arms and legs go limp. Breathe slowly in and out. In and out. Inhale and exhale. Allow your breathing to relax you. Start to create a picture in your mind. Imagine that you're walking on a path along the top of a ridge next to a valley. The valley is surrounded by mountains in the distance. The path is made of fine, light-colored dirt. It is at the top of a hill overlooking a wide valley. The hill is grassy and covered with Douglas fir trees. These coniferous trees have dark green needles. There's a small clearing up ahead where the path branches off to a lookout point. Imagine following this side trail to reach an open, grassy spot at the edge of a cliff overlooking the valley. There's a smooth stump where you can sit down. Imagine sitting on the stump and looking at the valley. The bottom of the valley, far below, is flat, with green grass, trees, and a calm, winding river. You can see a group of animals in the grass. Imagine taking out a pair of binoculars to get a closer look at the animals in the valley. You can see that they are elk. The elk are grazing peacefully. Their sleek fur glistens in the sun. Imagine looking at the valley and admiring the smooth blue water of the river, the peaceful elk, and the green grass and trees. The grass looks so soft from here. As a breeze blows gently through the valley, you can see ripples in the grass that look like waves. The grass moves and shimmers like water. There are many birds in the valley. You can see some birds swimming in the river. Others fly together, traveling swiftly from one part of the valley to another. Some birds land in trees. A bird nearby catches your attention by landing in a tree next to you. Imagine the peaceful singing of a variety of birds, each with their own unique calls. It is a warm, sunny day. The sun shines down, warm on your skin. It is so relaxing. The area where you are sitting is a perfect vantage point. Behind you, you can see the path where you came from. The path follows the valley in both directions. Imagine following the path with your eyes. There are stretches where the path is clearly visible at the top of the ridge, and other stretches where the path goes downhill along the side of the ridge, moving down toward the valley floor. Picture standing up and returning to the main path, and then walking along the quiet, dusty trail. On one side of you, opposite the valley, is a meadow with grass and trees. In the distance, the trees become thicker where the meadow meets the base of mountains. On the other side of you, the hill slopes down to the valley. On the far side of the valley, there are hills and more mountains. You can see a ridge just like this one on the opposite side of the valley. You walk parallel to the valley, following the path as it winds along the ridge. From here, you can see the valley stretching far into the distance, so far that the river looks like a little line on the valley floor. Along this part of the path, you are walking high on the crest of the ridge, and you have an unobstructed view all around to the mountains on one side and the valley and mountains on the other side. There are small hills up and down as you continue along the path. The path curves a little and starts angling down toward the valley. Imagine walking downhill toward the valley floor. You are still far above the bottom of the valley, but here the path descends into the trees. You enter a mixed forest with coniferous and deciduous trees. The surface of the path changes, and you're now walking on rocky brown soil littered with leaves and needles from the trees. Tree roots snake across the path. The leaves of the trees provide shelter from the sun, and you walk through dappled light. The forest is still, and it feels so quiet and peaceful. The only sound is the singing of birds and the soft movement of branches and leaves swaying and turning in the breeze. Imagine the smell of the forest. You can smell the trees and the warm soil. It is an earthy, pleasant smell. Imagine the beautiful forest. The path curves through the trees, and then you begin to ascend, climbing up a gentle slope back toward the top of the ridge. As you climb, the trees become thinner and the path dustier. You emerge from the forest, and the path continues up the slope toward the top of the ridge. You can again see the valley on one side of you. On the other side is a light yellow, sandy cliff, stretching from the path at your feet up toward the sky. There are little holes where birds have their nests. A bird flies above you and lands on the side of the cliff, stopping to look down at you with curiosity. The path continues next to the cliff, climbing higher and curving around past the cliff face. You continue up the path until you reach the top of the ridge. Now you're above the top of the cliff. The ridge is flat on top, and the path continues along, following the valley. You're closer to the mountains now. The ridge where you are walking is a flat area between the mountains above and the valley below. It is part grassy meadow and part forest. The path leads to a house where you will be staying. The house is nestled between the mountains and the valley. The house is located on the ridge, with mountains and trees behind, and an open view of the valley in front. It is surrounded by trees on 3 sides, and at the front of the house is a porch facing the valley. Imagine arriving at the house and sitting on a comfortable chair on the porch. The porch is at the edge of the ridge. From here, you can look out over the tops of the trees growing on the hillside, and you can see the entire valley. The river glimmers in the sun. The grass moves like water. Birds sing in the trees. It is so peaceful, so serene. Picture sitting on the porch as the sun begins to set. The valley is bathed in brilliant orange, pink, and red. The river below glows orange in the light of the setting sun. As the sun dips below the mountains, the landscape becomes darker, but the sky is still bright. Everything becomes still. Even the breeze has stopped. As night falls, the valley is perfectly peaceful and quiet. The transition between day and night is so peaceful. Relax here, so comfortable, so peaceful, and relaxed. Imagine relaxing, just like nature seems to be winding down, preparing for sleep. The sky becomes gradually darker. Stars appear. You can hear the sound of frogs in the distance. Birds are preparing for sleep. Allow yourself to drift off, so relaxed You're perfectly safe and calm here, in this peaceful place. Moonlight illuminates the trees and the valley, a peaceful, gentle light. Drifting off. Falling asleep. Allow yourself to drift off to a pleasant, peaceful sleep.